Hello and welcome to N Focus, coming to you this week from Mount Amber Falls. I assume on planet Popstar, but it's hard to judge with Kirby games because they can go anywhere they want. I am your host, Hilka. Joining me as always is my co-host, Rosalie. How you doing today?
Hello, I'm good. Yesterday was a bank holiday, and
Oh,
I'm not used to having a job where you get them off. Annoyingly, I get the English ones, not the Scottish ones, and there's more of them. But hey, I'll take any. And I didn't know
yeah.
until on Friday that it was going to be a long weekend, and I was like, oh, best surprise. And I spent it doing absolutely nothing. Actually, that's a lie. I finally finished Donkey Kong.
Nice.
And I was chilling out in my new Buffy pajamas, like just how every weekend should be. How are you?
I'm good, yeah. I've been very busy, as I say a lot these days, which I suppose is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had a couple of weeks ago, where, just for various reasons, basically nobody in my life was available.
Oh,
And, yeah, people were on holiday and all that stuff. And I was just like, what did I used to do? Like, how did I used to spend my free time? But that has since passed, and I'm back to doing lots of stuff. We recorded an episode of Unfocused at time of recording 2 days ago, still being worked on. It was very good. It was a great episode. I love talking about Portal 2, and the name is escaping me, of the game Rome Total War. That was a really good discussion as well.
I thought you'd be talking about the Monster Hunter Final Fantasy 14 collab.
Well, it hasn't happened yet.
All right, okay, fair.
It's part of Title Update 3 that's coming at the end of September.
And you only have to play over 100 hours to access it.
That's an exaggeration, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to reach Hunter rank 100, which I did in under 100 hours.
Oh, I'm talking about in Final Fantasy 14.
Oh. It's going the other way as well?
Oh, yeah. You can only... Oh, this is exactly Switch 2 info, so anybody doesn't care, you can, hide your ears away, I guess. Yeah, it's like after Dawn Chill, there's going to be like some Monster Hunter stuff in 14.
Huh.
But
I only heard about the Final Fantasy stuff coming to Monster Hunter.
But then to get to the content, you have to finish the Dawn Trail expansion, which is at least 100 hours worth.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh. I know what you're doing after this recording. Setting up that 14 account.
I don't know if I'm that dedicated, to be honest. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would be lying if I said I hadn't considered playing Final Fantasy 14 at some point. Like, I think I've told this story on either this podcast or N Focus before, or Unfocused before. I mean, where like I was like kind of done with Monster Hunter Rise.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just sort of shopping around for, okay, well, we have no info on when the next Monster Hunter game is coming out yet. So what's like my live service game in the meantime going to be? And Final Fantasy was a consideration. Destiny 2 gave that a quick try. Bounced off it pretty fast, which is a real pity considering how long it took to download everything.
Yeah. I need to get back to it, but I've said this before, I'm just not a fan of MMOs because it's just a lot of fetch quests and I get really distracted very easily.
Yeah.
And, a lot of text and I'm just like, I'm bored. Oh, give me those little short experiences. I ain't got time for that.
Well, then I have bad news about a game I'm going to recommend later on in this podcast.
Oh dear.
But before we get to that, we have a single news story to cover. Some other stuff happened, which we'll get into briefly, I suppose. But there's one sort of main topic that we're going to get into. But before even that, we would like to remind you that we have a Patreon, patreon.com/GamePodular. If you want to send us money, you're more than welcome to. We would really appreciate it. I know I say this every time, like, take care of yourself first. It's tough out there, but if you have some extra cash lying around and you want to send it our way, we would very much appreciate it.
Yes, please.
Also, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/@GamePodular and youtube.com/@GamePodular streams highlights. The first is where you'll find the YouTube versions of these podcasts, and if you are listening to this one on YouTube, hey, what's up? Thanks. Be sure you're subscribed so you see all the new ones coming out. Push the like button because it helps us in the algorithm, I'm told. And leave a comment about which machine you're going to main in Kirby Air Riders.
Oh.
And on the other channel, you'll find our stream VODs. We recently uploaded a stream VOD of Mirror's Edge and Monster Hunter Wilds. Because Mirror's Edge was having some technical issues, let's say, and so we switched midstream. All right, let's get into the news. The first sort of news story that we wanted to talk about is, just in case you exist in the online gaming space but somehow haven't heard. And if that's you, wow, you are a very specific person who knows about our podcast, but not what we're about to say. That's very impressive. Please reach out if that's you. Hollow Knight Silksong finally has a release date. After a short 7 years of development, it's coming out on September 4th on Nintendo Switch and other systems.
Ooh.
I will admit, I won't be playing it for the podcast because I didn't like the first Hollow Knight very much. I don't know how you're feeling about that.
Yeah, I played like 10 hours. I like it, but it's a Metroidvania Souls-like thing, and I'm really bad at Souls-likes. So yeah, it's not a game that I'm gonna. I have actually re-downloaded Hollow Knight on the Switch too, and I was like, maybe I'll try and finish it and see how I feel, because I do like the kind of. I like the art style and the spooky kind of weird dystopian bug place, and the characters you meet, and they're really unnerving and weird, even if they're like nice, and I like that kind of not spooky aesthetic. Like, I don't know what the right just adjective would be, but I do
just
like
unsettling.
Yeah, I do like that. I'm just really bad at the game, so the gameplay kind of gets in the way, and I'm like, oh yeah. They should do like an anime or something. So yeah, I'm not gonna buy Silksong. Actually, when it got announced, I forget you've not seen classic Simpsons, but it reminded me of that meme where Homer's in the gay bar and he's like staring off into the distance, and there's this like loads of like lesbians around him, and people change it into a meme where they like put logos around them all, and it's like, you're feeling left out. And I was like, this is me, because the hype isn't there and I don't understand what's going on. But yeah, but you know, happy for people.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We talked about this on Unfocused as well, but co-host of that show, Seskra, had 2 games that they were really looking forward to have a release date announced within days of each other. One of which was Hollow Knight Silksong, and the other is Unbeatable.
Oh yeah, that looks good. Yeah, there was much more cooler stuff at Gamescom that I like the look of than Silksong. But yeah, I always feel joyous when, you know, those highly anticipated games do come out for folk. And I hope, unlike Shenmue 3 for me, that it's actually good.
Yeah.
And
That would be very good, because I don't know if they will survive as a company if it isn't.
oh yeah, to be fair, it could probably be like average and it's going to sell like hotcakes anyway. Um,
Yeah.
But yeah. I hope it's good and people have fun. The only thing is, right, I saw loads of people being like, "Oh, if you don't like Silk Song, it's like nothing to play." And I'm like, "Do you not? There's so many games. Like I feel overwhelmed by the amount of games I need to like play that are on my backlog that I've already bought. Like there's how do people not know what to play? I don't understand. What
There's
a nice problem to have."
Admittedly, there are a handful of games that have moved their release date
Yes.
because of Silk Song. It is truly the GTA 6 of the indie gaming world.
Yes. But I doubt nobody's got a game sitting on their Steam account that, can't get some attention. Surely.
Yeah. And even in September alone, there's still loads of other games. Like that Bloober Team game, Chrono Whatchamahoozy, that's still coming out in September, and that game looks awesome.
Yeah, it's Silent Hill F, I'm pretty sure, September 2, which is the one I want. Yeah, there's loads of stuff. There's loads of stuff.
Exactly. And the other one we wanted to mention really quickly is Pokemon Legends ZA is slowly drip feeding out more and more information as its impending release in October?
Yes.
I should know this by now. They announced it in like June or something.
October 16th, I believe, off the top of my head.
See, you know this because you pre-ordered it, and also I assume you have to write about it.
Yeah, okay, fair. I have an excuse.
I know like when free content updates for Monster Hunter Wilds are coming out because I check my Steam news feed every day.
Yeah, it's the same.
They're getting this is not the first crossover that Wilds is getting. I'm sorry. I once I start talking about Monster Hunter, I can't stop. They've already done one with Street Fighter. Like, straight up Akuma showed up.
Okay, that's cool.
And literally tomorrow, at time of recording, there's going to be an event quest where you get parts to make a Fender guitar.
Oh, I did hear about this.
It's very funny. It looks strange.
That's very weird.
Yeah. But Monster Hunter has never been like a very serious franchise, you know?
That's true.
One of my favorite weapons from like ages ago is they had a crossover with Phoenix Wright, one of the Ace Attorney games. And it was a lance where the shield was like the red circle with a stripe for a no. And the actual lance was Phoenix's arm pointed out when he yells objection.
That's amazing.
That's wild. I love Monster Hunter for stuff like that. But yeah, Pokemon, right, that's what we were talking about. They've slowly been drip feeding out new information, including a new Mega Evolution, Mega Victory Bell.
Mm.
Or Victreebel? I've heard it both ways.
Oh, I don't know.
I assume it's Bell because it's like a pitcher plant that's bell-shaped.
Oh, the actual, yeah, it's Victory Bell is what I've heard. Although, I don't know if it's a case of, when you grow up, you think, oh, it's pronounced Shinra. No, it's Shinra. And I'm like, oh, God. My whole life, the childhood has been a lie. Did you see the reveal trailer for the Mega Evolution, though?
I didn't.
It's really weird. They set it up like a horror video. I literally thought at first they were going to reveal like a Resident Evil collab with Pokemon, and I was really confused. And now I'm like, yeah, that should be a thing because new Resident Evil's coming out. That won't happen, but
conceptually, Victory Bell is one of the more horror adjacent Pokemon, right? Obviously, you got the ghost types and all that stuff, but Victory Bell, it's literally a man-eating plant. it can theoretically eat people
That's true.
very slowly.
Yeah, that's true. It's just yeah, you need to watch after recording today because it's very surreal. Um, part of me wonders if this like they're like drip feeding into like doing more adulty Pokemon things, which would be kind of cool. But I think they just wanted to have a viral moment. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was kind of interesting. It's yeah, but no, he looks cool and terrifying and what I look like after a few takeaways. It's great.
Our main story for this episode is going to be the Kirby Air Riders Direct, which was 46 minutes long.
I know.
And there were parts of it that I was like, okay, sure. Like, Sakurai is actually funny.
Yes, very funny.
And I liked, we'll get into more details about this later, but I liked the parts where he's actually just playing the game. Seemingly, I mean, it was very convenient that both the like him playing the game that they showed was him just absolutely wrecking shop. It would have been extremely hilarious if for the city trial segment, he just like they showed off footage of him getting completely dumpstered.
I have a feeling they probably have a multiple takes, and that does exist somewhere.
But yeah, 46 minutes is a lot of time to devote to one specific game. Like, that's longer than, like, the Indie World Showcase we covered last episode.
Oh my god. Do you think he probably has has a way of being like, hey, I'll make you another game, but you got to give me 47 minutes to talk about it. Or else.
I mean, I honestly think it's part of, like, I obviously don't know Sakurai personally, but I get the feeling that at least part of it was I just want to insert some, like, fun personality into the presentation.
Yeah.
And he sure did.
His directs are always a bit more interesting, because I know he has his own YouTube channel, which kind of goes into, like, game development, and they always have that kind of approach to them where they're quite educational in that way, which even if it is still marketing when you get down to it.
Yeah.
But so they are more interesting, but it was a challenging watch.
Because in general, there were some things where they went into detail that I don't really feel like they needed to.
No.
Like, the game's presumably got a tutorial.
Yeah.
And we know it has, like, lesson mode where it just, like, teaches you the mechanics. And I suppose that's what a tutorial is.
Yeah.
So, like, we didn't need an extensive explanation about the fact that the machines move automatically. You don't need to hold down A to go forward. I guess that does differentiate it from Mario Kart, which they were also very eager to do.
That was really funny.
Yeah. But yeah, there's just some things that I don't really feel like they needed to get into. But for the sake of completion, and I guess we can call it journalism, we will also be getting into detail about them. I have 3 pages of bullet pointed notes about everything that was announced in this direct. Dear Mr. Nintendo,
Why?
please don't do a 46-minute direct about a single game again.
Yeah, unless it's like
unless it's like a brand new, original, interesting game.
Yeah, or like Super Mario Odyssey 2, but like an actual 2, or like something really exciting, like Waluigi gets his own game finally. Yeah.
All right. we're going to be presenting this. I created categories for all of this, so we're not necessarily going in order that everything was announced, because everything was announced in a very scattershot approach.
Mm-hmm.
So, starting right from the top, my general impression of Kirby Air Riders as a game from this direct, it looks less like a serious. Well, I guess the phrase "serious kart racer" is sort of an oxymoron. Less of a normal kart racer and more of just like a speed-based party game, I guess.
Mm.
To differentiate it from Mario Kart as well, which like only came out 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Curious decision to release Kirby Air Riders this close, but I'm not Nintendo. Maybe they know something I don't. One of the first differences from the original Kirby Air Ride, and the reason it's called Kirby Air Riders, is that you can select from a variety of characters now. In the previous one, you could only pick Kirby, and apparently later Meta Knight and King Dedede, although you couldn't choose machines for them.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in this game, you can pick from 4 different Kirbys: pink, yellow, red, and green, I think.
Yeah.
King Dedede, Meta Knight, Chef Kawasaki, Bandana Waddle Dee, Cappy, Magoloro, the wizard one, Gooey, everybody's favorite. People were popping off for Gooey. Waddle Doo, Knuckle Joe, Susie, and Starman. I was expecting an Adeleine character, which it's weird that there wasn't one.
Yeah.
They also showed off a bunch of different air ride machines, which we'll be calling just machines for the rest of this episode, just for ease of syllable usage. There was the Star, the Winged Star, the Wagon Star, the Wheelie Bike, the Shadow Star, which this was another one where they announced various stars, machines over the course of the presentation. So like the first chunk sort of ended with a couple ones after the Shadow Star. From this first chunk, the Shadow Star was the one I was most interested in, because there is still an edgy teen part of me that lives to this day. There was the Paper Star, the Bulk Star, the Swerve Star, the Chariot, the Tank Star, the Turbo Star, the Slick Star, the Rocket Star, the Rex Wheelie, which is my all-time favorite one just based on visuals alone, and the Battle Chariot.
Oh.
And all of these have their own attributes. The Swerve Star looks like it controls really weird. It's the one where like it just moves forward and then it stops, and then you turn and then it moves again. It's interesting that it would make so vastly different play styles for a racing game like this. We alluded to it previously. In this game, you do not need to press A or hold the left stick forward to accelerate. The machines do it on their own. There are functionally 2 buttons that do things. There's the B for boost charging and drift. And there's the Y for the special button, which can unleash a special move, like a boost or some sort of attack move, depending on what character it is that you're playing. The ones they showed off were Ultra Sword, Jet Hammer, Night Wing, Spear Cyclone, Super Spicy Cooking, Booster Cap, Burn, Snow Bowl, and Crash. All of this stuff being showed off in action made the game look extremely frantic in a way that I am a little worried I might not enjoy very much. How do you feel about it?
I'm not feeling all right about it. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of Sonic Riders.
Okay.
Which I conceptually it's not the same. There's just something about it where I'm like, and it's not just because of the word riders, I promise. But no, I think I can't remember. I definitely have played the original at least a couple of times, but I can't remember it. So I can't remember if I had fun with the hecticness that was in the original. But no, I think it looks fun. It does look like that kind of thing where, like, you know, in Mario Kart, like anyone you know can play it, like family members, and it'll still be like fun. Whereas this is frantic, but it feels like it's one of those things where the people that will play it are people who like master it, kind of thing. So
with all the like little ways of getting extra speed boosts, like landing properly off a glide and attacking enemies, which doesn't actually slow the other racers down, but it just makes you go faster.
yeah,
This does seem like a game that has a much higher skill ceiling.
yes, much better put than what I was saying. Yeah, which, you know, I am gonna get. So I guess I'll see what that's like by getting like casual players to have a go with me. Not that I will. I probably will also be a casual player, but yeah, yeah. I don't know. I did. I liked. It looks fun. I don't know. We've still got a lot to go over.
We sure do. I am kind of surprised that they didn't already drop the first Kirby Air Ride on NSO to like coincide with this big direct. I imagine it'll come out before Air Riders does, but like now would have been a great opportunity to do it, you know?
Yeah. Also, that's like I mentioned last episode with Chibi Robo. That's another one that's like £200 secondhand.
Yeah.
So that would be nice if they did that. Because for some reason, like, because it's rare, I always thought that it was really like critically acclaimed when it came out, but apparently it was the opposite. Which
it kind of has a cult status a little bit. It's one of those games that like was poorly reviewed when it came out, but its fans are extremely dedicated.
Yeah.
And like it's sort of people have like the general perception has turned around on it, and people say it's actually good nowadays.
Yeah. So I'd be curious to like. I wish they did add it on the NSO so I could see for myself. But yeah, they did not.
Yeah.
Annoyingly, they put the theme song on the music app, but you know.
Yep. Just the theme song.
Yep.
I guess it makes sense to not put the entire soundtrack on there before the game is out. But still.
Oh yeah, true.
We mentioned attacking earlier. There is a damage system, and half-broken machines will actually go faster, which, according to the direct, is a way to like get you out of a sticky situation, because depending on the rules you set when making your race, because it's a Sakurai game, so it has to have a whole bunch of adjustable rule sets. You could theoretically set the rules to if your machine takes enough damage, you're just out of the race.
Yeah.
So that's a nice, like, I don't want to necessarily call it a catch-up mechanic, but just a concession to not make it a complete bloodbath every time. Picking, like, characters, like, will affect how your machine handles, along with just the stuff the machine does. Character weight, there's a bunch of attributes, like top speed, flight speed, grip, charge speed, attack power, defense, and different characters will have different attributes. Just like in Mario Kart. I feel like we're going to be saying that a lot. DDD and Meta Knight, they have just normal attacks that will happen automatically when they get close to enemy racers. Cappy's mushroom hat can be used as a shield to block those attacks and also others, I assume. And probably other characters will also have special abilities. Copy abilities, however, are universal, which is a nice way of making Kirby not just basically the correct choice every time. Obviously, this was another thing where they like went into way more detail than I feel like they needed to.
Yeah.
Because like, well, yes, Kirby has he can inhale enemies and eat them, but we gave the ability to give copy abilities to everyone else, to get copy abilities to everyone else. So for them, it's called something else, and they all have their unique animations. And Chef Kawasaki uses his ladle, and it's like, yeah, I would have seen that when I was playing the game. You know, that's one of those like fun little details that I love discovering that you really didn't need to put in this direct.
Yeah.
For posterity's sake, the copy abilities they showed off, at least, were Kirby Classics Fire, Sword, Bomb, Wheel, Mike. I don't know why they spelled it Mikae. Cutter, Jet, Plasma, and one that I'm not familiar with having appeared in previous Kirby games, Steel Ball. Insert your own JoJo's Bizarre Adventure joke here. I don't know. I've watched very little of it, but Steel Ball Run is the next one. So that's getting an anime adaptation in any case, and people are very excited for it.
Yes. Not me, but yes.
And that covers like a lot of the general mechanics. There's going to be 2 modes. There's Air Ride, which is your standard race. We'll have up to 6 players because they felt that more than 6 racers will just be too chaotic and too hard to actually be a reasonable contender for the winning position, which, given how like fast and frantic and sort of tightly confined a lot of the tracks look, I feel like that was the correct move. Mm-hmm. And if I'm completely honest, like having 32, what was it, 32 or 24 racers in Mario Kart World?
24, I think.
24, yeah. Is one of those things that like really matters for like 5% of the race, and then for the rest it basically doesn't.
Yeah.
And I'd prefer just like, I do think I prefer the more compressed racing experience that this game offers. Because Mario Kart World is really good. It's very fun. But like, you do often fall into those moments of, well, I'm in like 5th place and there are 12 racers near me and I got hit by 5 items in a row and now I'm in 17th place, you know?
Nah, I don't know what that's like because I'm always first. No, that's not true. I did my first online race yesterday and I came like 14th and I was 4th for the majority and I was so good.
Yeah.
I kind of like how chaotic. Well, no, it's not chaotic because they're either always behind you or there's like 3 people in front of you. I kind of like the 24 racers, but then I don't know. I guess it would be cooler if you could actually choose. But maybe they'll do that for the next one. I don't know.
And then the other mode that they spent the rest of the direct talking about is City Trial, which I've never played Kirby Air Ride, but I'm given to understand based on just some Googling I did and also this direct was the main reason that the original Kirby Air Ride had a lot of longevity for people. I don't know if you know anything about that.
I knew of it, but I don't remember it, annoyingly.
City Trial is sort of like an interesting take on a battle arena, almost. Mm-hmm. It takes place on a floating island called Skya. You start on a very weak cart, on a very weak machine, and your first task is finding a better machine, because its stats are going to be very bad. And then you drive around in the area picking up power-ups that will increase your stats, and which are all like flat PNGs, which is also a Sakurai classic.
Yep.
I love that as a look. It's in Smash Bros. It was in Kid Icarus Uprising, and it's in this one. And then different events will happen in the 5 minutes that you're driving around Skya, which can give you more power-ups, and then at the end you go to one of several like final game stadiums where you put your quote-unquote build to the test in an ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny. There are a number of zones on this floating island, including Flower Field, Urban District, Plaza, Caves, Subway Station, Forest, Coliseum, Underground Mall, and Sea. Those are the ones that they showed off originally. During the gameplay, we saw that there was also a volcano, which you can apparently go inside, but Sakurai chose to leave that one a surprise for players.
Oh.
And there's also like a floating sort of island above the floating island that I saw, which will also be interesting to explore, I suppose. Some of the events they showed off are a short race in a sectioned off area in the map, Dust Up Derby, which is a small battle between racers. Boss enemies can show up, including Krako and Dynablade. There's a meteor storm, secret rooms with lots of power-ups that spawn, that open up, pillars that come out of the ground that you can smash using the, the quick spin move by flicking your lift stick back and forth. Items can just get really big. A race through portals, big Gordos falling from the sky, and machines being able to fly more easily. And I assume these will just be like randomized which ones show up in every session to keep it from getting stale. Picking up lots of power-ups can have downsides. Like, increasing your max speed really high will also reduce the weight of your character and make it harder to control. So if you end up in a stadium where that's really important, you might actually be kind of out of luck. Other notes, you can't collect items when you're not on a machine. Your machine can straight up break in this mode, or you can be transferring between machines. And some of the stadiums they showed off were Kirby Melee, which is everybody's running around fighting NPC enemies and scoring points based on the enemies they beat. Air Glider, which is just glide really far. Drag Race, drive in a straight line the fastest. Target Flight, jump off a ramp and hit a target that's on a vertical wall, and each section of that target will have different point totals. Dust Up Derby, similar to the Dust Up Derby that's an event, is you fight other racers. Skydive, if you've played Ring Fit Adventure or... what was that game called again? Just it was called for the Awesome. No, for the Awesome. Haha, got him. Wow, this game is from 2011. And this is also the remastered version of the original. Nope, I'm not going to think about that. How long ago that was. And then in the presentation, they went back and showed off some of the racing courses, which are Floria Fields, Cavernous Corners, Siberian Highway, Mount Amber Falls, and Wave Flow Waters. One thing I do really like, because everything is supposed to be very fast in this game, if you finish a race, you don't have to wait for everybody to finish before you go to the next one. You can just immediately jump in another race or another lobby if you're playing online.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's 2 game speeds, fast and normal, which, what a treat. For those of us who don't have the reaction time that I'm afraid you might need, turning the speed to normal might be exactly what the doctor ordered. You can pick up items, but you can reserve them, but you can't reserve copy abilities. And then right at the end of the direct, there was like a short video of a character with like an exhaust coming out of one eye socket and driving on a Rex wheelie that had like blue flames coming out of it. I'm speculating that it's some sort of boss racer enemy, but I don't know how that'll factor into this game that, so as far as I know, doesn't have like a story mode.
Yeah.
And last but not least, it has a release date of the 20th of November, 2025.
Ooh.
What did you think about this direct that we haven't already talked about?
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not like, it didn't make me really excited for it. I think I'm probably going to get it. I've gotten into a rhythm now, which is maybe not great financially of just getting the Switch 2 release. I mean, there's only two, but getting them as they come out because it's well, it gives me ideas for things to write for work, so that's helpful. And if I can kind of like budget it in, I might as well. And I'm depending on how it is just before Christmas, so I might wait until after the holidays, like probably early next year, to pick this one up, depending on, in case something really big gets announced last minute in a direct, knowing our luck for like January or something. Which is probably going to happen. But yeah, it looks cute. I don't know. Like you said, it's very bizarre to release a Nintendo property racing game 3 months after your main one.
This game looks cool.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it exists for the super fans of Kirby Air Ride, right? Like, the Mario Kart fans are treated well every generation.
Yeah.
But Kirby Air Ride fans have been begging and pleading since, like, the Wii, because their first and only game was on GameCube.
Yes.
But I'm not, like...
We're maybe not the...
jumping out of my seat to pick this one up on day one, you know?
Yeah.
I'll probably still be playing Pokemon.
Yeah. We're maybe not, like, even though we love Kirby, we're still not maybe the target audience. But I hope it does well. What I thought was strange was that it was a Kirby game, and Kirby has, let me tell you, Kirby has a ridiculous amount of merch, like, and cool merch. I have a Kirby shelf. It is overflowing. But there was no pre-order bonuses and no new amiibo whatsoever. And there still hasn't been any word on that either. And I find that strange.
The no new amiibo especially is the one that surprises me. Because, I mean, they showed off so many interesting looking designs for machines and a lot of playable characters. Like, you could use so many amiibo based on this game.
Yeah, and there is a lot of Kirby amiibo, and they're very good. They're very cute. So it's very... I don't know, I was waiting for that, and I was like, because I'm a sucker for... If there's a nice pre-order bonus or a nice, like, Nintendo, UK and US now do a thing where it's like, spend an extra £10 and you get this little bit of, merch. Basically a silly tat that they just want to get in there. But sometimes it's really cute. It's how I got that Echoes of Wisdom wall scroll, which is actually really cool. And I was like, oh, there's going to be something. And there's nothing.
No.
I was like, oh. Which is like annoying because Pokemon ZA, the one I pre-ordered comes with this really cool statue. It's going to be tiny, but it's a little statue of is it the Gen 2 starters? Or some of the... I can't remember. Yeah.
There's like 2 Gen 2 starters. No, it's like... Hang on. Thinking now.
I can't remember if it's one of each or...
Because the starters in ZA, I know Cyndaquil's not one of them, because that was Arceus.
Let me quickly check.
Right? It's Totodile, Chikorita, and Tepig, I want to say?
Yes. Sorry, that's right. You're right. And it's really cute. And that swayed me. But, And also the previous... I mean, it's a while ago now. Arceus came with a really cool replica of the OG like wooden Pokeball, which
nice.
Was really cool. I like silly things like that. Actually, some of my favorite bits of Nintendo merch have been pre-order bonuses, like the Zelda chest from The Link Between Worlds, and you open it and it makes the sound. But mine is so old, it's like you open it, it goes, and it's really, it's like it's haunted or something. I need to update its batteries, but I kind of love that it sounds so bizarre and scary. But yeah, I just thought that was weird. Maybe they're saving all their production costs for cool pre-order things for when Metroid comes out. I don't know. I imagine Amiibo might come later because they are getting quite good at making them a thing again. Because there was Donkey Kong got one, which I didn't think would be a thing. So
Yeah.
and they've released a few of them as well. Like some of the rarer
Street
ones.
Fighter got like 3.
Yeah, and cards, and yeah. So I don't know. I just thought I was just a bit like, oh. People who were like,
Yeah.
"There's so much plastic Kirby tat in the world that's enough." I don't know. But that would have been nice. But oh well. It's not the biggest loss in the world. There's worse things going on. But I just thought
No,
that
but it is odd from
Yeah.
like the way we are given to understand how Nintendo runs their business, right? Like you said, Kirby is a massive merch moving machine.
Yes.
And the fact that there's seemingly nothing for this new Kirby game is very strange.
Yeah, I also feel like it might have been what made me actually like pre-order it. So it's kind of sad. I don't know if it says a lot about me and how materialistic I am. But yeah, oh well. Oh well-ity.
Well, speaking about one game that was originally on Nintendo GameCube, moving right along to another one.
Yeah.
Smooth as buttery velvet. What a waste of perfectly good velvet. We're going to move into what we've been playing. And for you, that has been Chibi Robo.
Yeah. I haven't completed it because I only started it. When did it come out? The 21st of August? So it's not.
Sounds about right to me.
Yeah, it's not been on NSO for long. But I've maybe spent 3-4 hours on it. And it is absolutely charming. I don't know if there was like a demo. I'm trying to think, was there it on a demo disc, like a GameCube demo disc back in the day? Because I definitely have played it. Or maybe it was like, one of those demo terminals you get in game shops back in the day.
Yeah.
But I didn't own it. So this is my first time being able to actually play through the whole thing. And it's just... It's absolutely adorable. It's obviously, there's a lot in it that probably is quite influential to, that cozy, trademarked type games these days where it's just about something a bit more wholesome. Because you are a little, as the name suggests, you're a tiny little robot, like maybe the size of like a can of juice. In fact, you're a bit smaller than that. And you are gifted from a dad to his daughter on her birthday. And you basically you don't speak, but you have this little assistant called Telly. And it's, as you can guess, it is a tiny little TV. And
Nice.
TV tells you that you have to basically make his family happy by earning happy points. And you do that by picking up rubbish and putting it in the bin in their house, finding them lost items, and cleaning, and just doing things that, hey, that would actually make me kind of happy. You're like a more sentient Roomba. But it has that kind of bizarre. We were talking about the Katamari games last time. I can't remember if someone from the team is in it, but it does have a tiny bit of that kind of weird quality of it. I think that some games had that at the time, where like the family there's voice acting, but they kind of just speak gibberish.
Okay.
It's hard to put words, where it just has that kind of early 2000s aesthetic, where it's like a bit bizarre, but in a very cute way.
Yeah.
Like the girl whose birthday it is, she's obsessed with frogs, and so she has this little frog hat that she wears, and like she just goes ribbit ribbit, and I'm like, it's just like, it's realistic in that, hey, I had a hyperfixation with sharks when I was her age, so I probably did something similar, but it's also just a bit like bizarre and just the right amount of way. But yeah, you start off and you don't have much. You just kind of wander about. Like you're literally, it's like Pikmin style, where the level is like the living room and it's massive. And and you can pick up rubbish and put it in the bin, and that'll get you happy points. And eventually you find like more items, like a toothbrush, and that toothbrush you can clean little stains, and the dog leaves little footprints in the floor, and you can clean them up. But what's weird is that toys in this world, or apparently the game says that just in this house, so there's something going on with the house, can come to life Toy Story style. So you'll meet like this chew toy that the dog has called like Sophie, and she's really cute. She's like a bug, kind of looks like a glowworm, and she has like a diary, but she writes in, and she has a crush on this toy of like it's meant to be like a Super Sentai, like Power Rangers type guy called Drake Redcrest, and he controls the TV, and he teaches you how to do like a cool Super Sentai pose, and you can like go and patrol with him, and she writes in her diary how much she fancies him. And like one of the earlier puzzles is that after he teaches you the pose and gives you like his outfit, if you wear that and do the pose in front of her, she gets all embarrassed and like runs away, so you can get into a different room of the house. It's very, very adorable, because the whole getting the happy points, the little telly guy, is to turn you into like, so you can upgrade and be the best Chibi Robo you can be. And eventually you can find like scraps of metal where you can build other little tiny robots to help you. And you can like upgrade, like throughout the whole thing, like in the art, he has like a little like a plug or AC adapter like attached to him.
Yeah.
So like you can't just you have like a set. It kind of acts like a timer where your power runs out the more that you do things. Like even just walking makes it run out. So you have to plug yourself into an outlet in the wall to charge up.
Okay.
But you can use you can find like money throughout the house, and you can use that to buy like extra batteries, and the more happy points, the more time you upgrade, the bigger your battery becomes as well, so you can explore for longer. And obviously like it changes. There's like a night and day cycle where at night maybe the husband and wife fall out at the start, so he's like asleep on the sofa at night time, and sometimes he'll like drop stuff, and that's how you get the toothbrush and things. It's very It's absolutely adorable. And it's I hate things with timers in it, because they always give me anxiety. And I thought that the battery system would like become really annoying. But they give you like just enough time to still do things and still find it pretty enjoyable.
Okay.
And this game still looks fantastic. I know the Switch 2 hardware has been doing something where it does improve the look of some of the GameCube games. I don't know the actual tech that's going on in that instance, but I have heard it is doing something emulation-wise. But like, man, does it not remind you how great GameCube games were / are? Because it looks brilliant. Like the reflections on the floor still look fantastic. And I guess having a kind of cute style kind of helps it. It's kind of like, it's not like Wind Waker cell shaded levels, but it has aged better than other games of its time. But like, it's just delightful. I don't know how long the actual game is, but I'm actually going to make sure that I properly finish it. And I don't know, there's been a lot of talk lately, especially amongst my friends, where they're like, I don't want to Switch 2. It's just taking money. There's no point, blah, blah, blah. And I know you could get this game in other ways, which I won't say. But I do love...
Yeah, like paying €200 for it used.
Oh, I know, right? Oh, my God. But I do love this hopeful trend of popping games like it on NSO to get people more access to it. Because, like... I don't know. It just means that there's all these little experiences I either didn't. I come from a lucky position where, and I know I'm very annoying with this, when maybe you or someone else will tell me they never watched something or played something or whatever, and I'll be like, because I always try to make sure that I played the most important games of an era. But sometimes you don't get to, or something happens, or you miss a console goes past you entirely, or your cousin didn't buy it, so you didn't get to have it because all your games are secondhand. And this was the one that did properly escape me. So it's just been really nice to be able to experience it. And it's kind of proof that, you know, a good game will always be a good game. The only thing is that the camera is a bit iffy, not to a degree where it's like, because I mean, some camera games in like, what, 2000, and this came out 2005. The cameras in some games were horrendous. It's just not very intuitive. You just have to properly there's a lot of moments where you have to properly like wind it up behind you. It's not the worst thing in the world. And there's also a weird Mickey Mousing thing where every time you walk, there's like a sound effect, like do 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 do, and it changes depending on what material you're on. So if you're on the carpet, the music's a bit different. That's very annoying. And you can't turn it off. Yeah. I don't know why it doesn't let you turn it off. It makes me think maybe they should have done a remaster so you can turn it off. And to anyone that doesn't know, Mickey Mousing is literally a music composing term where the music is composed directly to the actions that are happening, like an old Mickey Mouse cartoon.
Okay. I was wondering.
Yeah, so like, you know, if someone's walking down the street, you'd be like, do 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 do, you know, that kind of every action changes the score in some way. And it's got the derogatory term is Mickey Mousing, because in a lot of cases you don't need it. And in Chibi Robo, I wish it wasn't there because it's really annoying. And for some reason, it's also when you use the toothbrush, but it's like a little Spanish classical guitar when you use it, which I thought was bizarre. But no. This has been really fun, and it's been a nice kind of like I mentioned, or did I mention? I just finally finished Donkey Kong Bonanza. So
yeah, you mentioned.
Yeah. So it was a nice, like, a nice chiller experience after the very high octane ending to Bonanza, and I was like, this is exactly what I need right now. So it's been lovely. I highly recommend people check it out if you have NSO, and maybe if you don't have NSO. I'm not going to judge you.
Yeah. It's interesting you bring up the time limit aspect, because that is ultimately what got me to stop playing Pikmin 4. Like, I did play a good amount of Pikmin 4, but I got kind of annoyed by the time limit stuff. And hearing that it is handled better in Chibi Robo does make me want to play it more, at the very least.
Yeah, because there's like a time limit for like the day to night, but it's not like if you don't make it back to your little hub that you get penalized for it. That it will just cut you to there, and then it'll be like, oh hey, this is what you did today or whatever. And yeah, the battery upgrades are great, and also there's plug sockets everywhere. So as long as you remember where the plug sockets are, you're fine. I imagine it'd be funny. I know there was a Chibi Robo on the 3DS.
Yep.
But it would be funny. What would the modern equivalent be? It would have like a USB-C cable or like wireless charging or something. Or just be a Roomba. I don't know. No, it's really cute. And honestly, do you know, I wish Chibi Robo was real, because my house is a mess, and if I had the money for it, I would have a cleaner. I do not have the money for a cleaner, and that makes me sad. So, you know, Chibi Robo, be real, or maybe I should just save up and buy a Roomba. But they won't pose like a Super Sentai character, so, you know, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It sounds great. Yeah. Like, as soon as Chibi Robo was announced for NSO, I was like, oh, that's going on the list, right? Because it does have that reputation, that very devoted fan base, kind of like Kirby Air Ride does.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And I'm always like kind of more interested in playing games like those than games that everybody agrees are awesome. Like, don't worry, I'm gonna play Wind Waker.
I can't wait.
But like, Chibi Robo is a little more niche.
Yeah.
And I like exploring niches.
Yeah, I really hope. I mean, this is a total opposite of the genre, but I really hope we get stuff like Eternal Darkness, which is like one of my favorite horror games of all time. And luckily I own it, although I don't think it's rare or expensive, so that's good. There's this. I'm just excited over the GameCube games they could add now.
Yeah.
Other than the Pokemon Colosseum and Gale of Darkness that we've already gone over before.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been delightful. I don't know how long it lasts though. I'm hoping it's like a under 10 hours thing. I think it must be, because that's what I need right now. Because everything else is like 100 hours. So I'm like, no, please, no. At least Donkey Kong was only, I think it was. I have not 100%ed it, but it was like 25 hours, and I was like, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But yes, no, highly recommend Chibi Robo. I haven't tried it with the GameCube controller, the official Switch 2 one yet. The controls are totally fine on the Switch 2, because they're quite minimal. But I am intrigued to see how it feels on the real deal, so that will be interesting.
Yeah, let us know if you give it a shot.
Yeah, I will do.
I have been talking about Ōkami HD for like 4 episodes.
Yep.
And it's finally time to actually talk about it for real. Because I finished it a couple weeks ago, and we didn't have time to get into it last episode because there were 2 directs to cover. But it's time to talk about Ōkami. Ōkami is kind of another example, I feel. I don't know, actually, because Ōkami does have this reputation as just being a masterpiece, right? Mm-hmm. But it doesn't feel like it has quite the mainstream penetration as something like Zelda does.
No,
right?
I think you could still call it niche, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say right off the top of the bat, I can see why people love this game. I had played like a tiny bit of it on PlayStation 2 back in the day, years and years and years ago, but I picked it up on Switch 1 basically right after I bought my Switch 1, which is an indication of how long it took me to get around to it. But it's genuinely fantastic, and if that's all you need, then that's all you need. It lives up to its reputation, mostly, in my opinion. It's like, it is, to those of you who don't know, it is like a Zelda-like action RPG. It does have kind of like an XP system, which Zelda generally doesn't have, but it's generally the same idea of like, there's a semi-open world kind of thing with separate instanced like dungeons with a boss and new abilities. You know, it's like Zelda. The basic gist of the plot: you are the sun goddess Amaterasu, or Ami for short. And you're also a wolf, which is relevant. You have been asleep for 100 years after a fight with the evil Hydra demon god thing, Orochi. You woke up after 100 years. Orochi's back, baby. And you got to stop him again. And in the process of finally stopping Orochi, you also have to rid the country of Nippon, Japan, from its like demon infestation that's causing trouble for everybody. The game is long. I've joked about it in a couple of like near the end of the episode segments, but this game is like way longer than I thought it was going to be. It took me over 40 hours to finish it, and I didn't even do all of the side quests.
Oof.
Nor did I get all of the collectibles. This is the point where I say that it didn't super live up to its reputation of being a masterpiece. In my opinion, it was too long. It did start to drag pretty close to the end where I got just kind of antsy of, look, okay, I would like to fight the final boss already. And I will admit, I don't know exactly if that's just because I knew I wanted to cover it on the show or if it's actually a problem of the game. I'm going to put that out there, but that was my experience. Some notes about Isun, who is your little bug sprite thing companion. He's a artist, the great artist Isun, who is traveling with you to learn the sacred brushstrokes, which are your powers, and create a great artwork based on all of that. I was told by multiple people ahead of starting playing this game that Isun sucks. That people hate him, and he's annoying and a nuisance, and I don't see it. Like, he is a little annoying, I guess, but he's a comedy companion in a game from 2004. Like, I don't know what you were expecting.
People are weird about game companions, I feel, though, because there's always that running joke. It's like, oh my god, Navi is so annoying. And I'm like, okay, I don't, like, I get, like, oh, I thought she was fine. I liked her as a kid.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know.
And, like, Isun, he has his own arc. You know, he's actually invested in the story beyond just being a character who cracks jokes and is kind of a pervert. But, like, it's a Kamiya game. Like, it's gonna happen, you know? So, like, yeah, I feel like I enjoyed Isun more than most people did. I also don't know if it's part of, like, I've experienced way worse. You know? I crack jokes about this one a lot. Blue Dragon. If you've played Blue Dragon for a good amount of time, you will have experienced one of the playable characters, Maru Maro, who is nails on a chalkboard, the worst part of the game by far. And compared to him, Isun was a breath of fresh air, an absolute delight. As long as I'm complaining about things, I want to talk about the brush mechanics as well. I played this game using the Pro Controller. I didn't use the motion controls, which I will admit the game did recommend, but I'm just not the biggest fan of motion controls. I like normal controllers. Using the brush powers just felt like kind of clunky and imprecise sometimes. Like, if you're not careful with how you start, it can often think you're using a different brush power than you mean to. There's a particular side quest where there's like a thief who splits himself off into different versions of himself, and in order to catch him, you have to use specific brush powers in a specific order to finally catch him. And so you have to use, like, the fire power, the lightning power, the slash power, the water spout power. But if you're, say, like, trying to use the slash power, but you accidentally start over a torch, it'll use the fire power instead. And there's no way to undo that. So if you do that in that specific side quest, you're just screwed and have to start over.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. And generally, like, there were a couple of times where this is a problem I had in The World Ends With You as well, where I was confident I was doing the motion correctly, but it just didn't accept that. Like, there's one of the earliest powers you get is just the power slash. It's just you draw a diagonal line and it does a slashing attack that can cut down, like, it can cut through boulders and plants and deal damage to enemies. Sometimes, especially during fights where it matters the most, I would do it and nothing would happen. And it's possible I was doing something wrong. I don't know what it would be. There's not really a lot of ways to mess up a straight line. But that was kind of annoying. Let's get back to some positives. I like the XP system that I mentioned earlier. It's contextualized in the story as praise because you are a god, and you don't gain it by fighting enemies like you would in a normal XP system. You do it by doing nice things for people and animals.
Well, there's a theme going on.
Yeah. Like in basically every area in the world, there's these wild animals, and there's 4 different kinds of food you can feed them. And if you feed them the right kind of food, you get a little cutscene where they're eating out of a bowl while you're watching, and then you get a little bit of praise.
Aww.
And then you get praise for doing side quests and stuff as well. Like it makes it feel just a little more verisimilitudinous.
Oh, fancy
It's
word.
a $10 word right there. As with most Hideki Kamiya games, the writing was top notch. I say this a lot about video games, but the writing was definitely one of my highlights. All of the, like, it is a pretty serious story, but all of the characters have, like, fun and interesting quirks that make them very memorable. They don't just feel like sources of exposition. You know, they feel like actual characters. And even though you have no, like, choice in how you interact with them, it's just dialogue back and forth. I'm very bad with names, but there's like this character who you interact with multiple times who's like a fortune teller kind of thing, and you do like 1 or 2 boss fights against him as well. He just speaks with a French accent for no reason. It's cool, and it makes him distinctive. And it's that kind of just little touches that add just so much personality to the way the game is written that makes it just very memorable. Also, it should go without saying that it looks and sounds fantastic. Like, I was playing the HD version on Switch. It looks great on Switch 2 as well. Runs great on Switch 2 as well. It's very, like, what you would associate with very traditional Japanese music. And the, like, thick ink lines in the art style just look fantastic. I'm sure anyone listening to this will not be surprised to hear me say that. It's one of the things everybody talks about with Ōkami. But I had a fantastic time with it, even if I do think it went on a bit too long. I think, like, I don't really know if they changed that much for, like, the remaster, the HD version. It's also on Steam, for the record, but I played it on Switch, mostly Switch 2. It's hard to go wrong with Ōkami. It definitely basically lives up to its reputation. It is an absolute classic, and I think everybody should play it. Unless you are like Rosalie and want short games, in which maybe hold off on it for a while, because like I said, this game took me over 40 hours to finish.
Yeah, I got it on PSN over 10 years ago, the HD version, and started it, and then was like, I can't be bothered. I wonder if it's length that probably put me off. Oh dear. Maybe I too.
The thing with the way its length is it is kind of also deceptively long, because I'm not going to give specifics just for spoiler reasons, but you're playing the game and everything seems to be leading up to one goal, and then you seemingly achieve that goal, and then the game just keeps going for another 25 hours. And not in a way that it feels like it's padding, it's just, okay, there's just way more to this than we previously thought.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of jarring to be like, yes, I did the final boss. And I'm like, 15 hours in, and I'm like, cool, bing, bang, boom. Going to talk about it on the podcast this week. Cut to 4 weeks later, and I still haven't finished it. Yeah, it's fantastic. Everybody should play it. Unless, like I said, you're looking for a short game, in which case maybe put it on the back burner for a little while. Obviously, I know you're looking for short games right now, but does this sound like it's up your alley at all?
Oh, I own it. And I tried.
I mean, I own lots of games that I probably won't like. So,
I well, I didn't have the PS2 one. I played bits of the Wii U one, but I really hated the motion controls. And I think that
Okay.
also might have been what put me off in the HD version. I don't know. It's I fell off of it for a reason when I played it. Maybe I will try it again, but it's not going to be high up my backlog list of things
Okay.
to try again. But I have like either had friends or know people that are like up like this is like their favorite game of all time.
Yeah, I like one of my best friends says it is genuinely one of his favorite games of all time, and he was so excited when I told him I finally started playing it.
One of my old cosplay buddies, she cosplayed like the kind of human design version, and
Okay.
had a group where she had all the gods together.
Oh, cool.
And it was very cool. And then I remember in her flat, she had like a plushie and like loads of Ōkami stuff, and I was just like, I kind of know what this is, but I don't really. So I usually associate it with that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe one day. Because, like I said, I like to make sure I've played the games that people are like, the important ones, and this is an important one. There was definitely something that put me off it last time because I have a vivid memory of being like wandering around one of the kind of first hub areas, and there's like a farmer and some like, and I was just like, because you can just like run around people and they kind of react to you, a la Zelda games.
Yeah.
And then I got bored really easily, but you know that I do that. So I was looking, because I started game journaling, and I was looking at the front of the list of like stuff I've played, and like I was like, oh yeah, Unicorn Overlord. I forgot to finish that, and I got like 60 hours in or something. No, 90 hours. I got something stupid
Damn.
in, and I never finished it. And I'm like, why am I the way that I am? No, but yeah, I'll maybe get to it one day. But now that you've told me how long it is, that might be a day that's very far away.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
But let's look in the more immediate future for what we're going to be playing between now and the next recording. So later this week is the release of the Kirby and the Forgotten Land expansion, Star-Crossed World, for Nintendo Switch 2. And that's going to be mine because, as I've said ad nauseum on this podcast, Kirby and the Forgotten Land is one of the best games on the original Switch, and getting more of it on Switch 2 is exactly my thing. So you bet your butt I'm buying it on release day. How about you?
I'm gonna try and remember this time to talk about Shin-chan, me and the professor on summer vacation, the endless 7-day journey. Best name ever.
That title will never not be funny to me, I feel.
It's amazing. And you know, weirdly, they announced that the English dub episodes of Shin-chan are getting released in Blu-ray. Annoyingly, just in the US so far that I know of. But I'm like, it's fate. It's a sign. But yes, I'm going to talk about Shin-chan because it is good and lovely and fun. Yay!
Ooh, and I did also want to mention, I don't know if I'm going to be talking about it on the podcast because there's not really much to talk about. But I did pick up one of the games that we talked about from one of the 2 directs we covered in the last episode. I picked up Is This Seat Taken? The like placing people in their ideal spot on a map puzzle game.
Yeah.
Because I like the look of it, and it was $10 on release. So like, it's hard to say no to that. And I have been playing it, but I don't think I'll talk about it on the podcast just because there's not much to say. It's pretty good. I'm having a good time with it. I would recommend playing it on PC, to be honest, because using the cursor on a Switch controller is just slower than using a mouse. But it's fun. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
that's going to do it for our episode for this week. If you enjoyed it, please let us know. We always love hearing from our listeners.
Yes, please.
Check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/@GamePodular and @GamePodular Highlights. Go to the Patreon and give us money if you want, but you don't have to. We also have a Ko-Fi page. You'll hear more about that at the end of the episode. But for now, we will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, Hilka here. I just wanted to say thank you for listening to this episode of N Focus. If you had a good time with it, please leave us a review on iTunes. It really helps us get noticed. Also, please tell your friends if they think they'd be interested. Word of mouth really helps too. You can also listen and subscribe on Spotify, other podcast services, and YouTube. And if you are listening on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out our sister show, Game Podular Unfocused. As we said in the episode, there should be a new one coming soon. We recorded it last week. You can follow us on Blue Sky and at GamePodular.com for updates, news, and other content. Links to all of our socials, including our Discord, Mastodon, and Blue Sky, may be found at our Linktree. If you'd like to support our shows, you can buy us a coffee or become a patron on the Game Podular Patreon. The details for both of which are on our website. Thanks. This episode was edited by me, Hilka, and you can follow me at @Gear12Turbo at kind.social on Mastodon or at Gear12Turbo.bluesky.social on Blue Sky. I was joined today by Rosalie, who you can find at LittleRecordGirl.bluesky.social on Blue Sky. Have a good one.